Alright, guys. So I'm going to be running through a couple of things that at least stick out in my mind involving recent news and the absolute shit show that is Donald Trump and his associate, Elon Musk. So we've got Elon Musk taking control of sensitive financial data and personal data with the U.S. Treasury illegally without any sort of security clearance. Um, some are calling this a coup. I don't know if I would go that far, but it's most definitely illegal, and it's definitely not a good thing for the American people. We've got Caroline Leavitt, who initially started with this lie that has been thoroughly debunked that $50 million was sent to Gaza for condoms. This is completely made up, fabricated. And not only did Trump not correct it, he doubled down and changed it to 100 million. It's like all this guy ever does is lie. So yeah, he's doing what he does best. He fearmongers just complete lies to the American people and gets them all worked up over something that's not even an issue because it's not even true. And then just keeps repeating the same lie until certain morons start believing it. Even if they question it at first, like his whole policy is just keep doubling down on the lie. And eventually people will just stop questioning it. And unfortunately, there are many stupid people that this works for. So he's begun his attack. He's about to begin, I should say, his attack on the Department of Education, which will destroy the fucking country even further. Um, it can't be overstated the significance of the Department of Education, especially when he claims that education is important to him. So that this is gonna create fucking millions of fucking jobs to be lost. And well, that's about all I can cover on that because he hasn't really done it yet. But once he does, we're all of this. See, this is it seems to be their tactic is to just fucking. It's like a ironically like a Nazi playbook deal, like the fucking Blitzkrieg tactics. He wants to like flood like media with like so much shit, so much craziness that he's hoping that like barely anything gets acknowledged, and also the court system can't properly deal with it because he's just going full speed ahead like crazy. The important thing is that none of this is positive for the American people. So as always, it's all backed by lies that he like. For instance, he's on all of these like this Doge shit that he's attacking fucking institutions of the American government, and he's claiming that like he's getting rid of waste. That's not what he's doing. He's just trying to dismantle these public good services so that he can fund tax cuts for the rich. Again, just like he did his first term. This isn't new. This isn't fucking a brand new playbook. I mean, Project 2025 is new, and again, it's obvious at this point that's exactly what he had planned the entire time. Even like he's like, I don't even know what that is. And morons fell for that shit. Wow. But anyhow, so we've got, let's see, there's just so much. Again, this is the problem. And I don't have a whole lot of time today. Not to mention I'm getting fucking like Trump fucking fatigue. But um so we've got Department of Education, we've got Elon Musk and the Treasury. I already covered the fucking deregulation, which is another issue. Deregulation in the airplane fucking I don't even know, like whatever that industry is called, uh, has been increasingly causing more and more issues and accidents. And he's running with this. This is a generalized right wing thing that's like absolutely stupid right on its face. That deregulation decreases inflation and is better for the American people. It's similar to the whole thoroughly debunked theory that like if you give rich people money, then it'll trickle down to everyone else. It's hilarious. But deregulation, all it does is make it to where wealthy people can extract money from people easier. They can scam people more. There's no accountability for that. And it just makes him and his buddies better able to get away with fucking obvious scams. It really is that simple. So deregulation is just stupidity. I've never met an intelligent person that thinks deregulation is like a good thing. It not one, unless they serve to benefit from it, like insiders, fucking wealthy CEOs and shit. Now, some of those people are intelligent. Don't get me wrong, but they're like purposefully lying. They're not going. I mean, they don't believe that it's best for like everyday people. They just go with it because it benefits them. But there's no intelligent person that doesn't benefit from it directly ever that is pro deregulation. It's absolute stupidity. So let's see. Department of Education covered. There's so much shit. Oh yeah, USAID. So he's been pushing, and this goes hand in hand with the whole lie about fucking condoms in Gaza, which is hilarious that anyone took it seriously in the first place. I mean, the moment Trump or anyone associated with Trump says something, you should immediately be like, all right, now I got to go through the effort of fact checking because it's always fucking lies. But USAID is massive when it comes to like what I would call soft power. When it comes to asserting influence over the world, in a way, it's similar to like China's Belt and Road Initiative, except we've been doing it forever. And even from a like America First perspective, it's smart. So one, it's it's like 1 fucking% of GDP. It's like nothing. It's nothing. And they're creating this fear mongering campaign over it and trying to make people believe that it's like this massive waste, blah blah blah. It's not. Uh, it's very important to impoverished nations that rely on food and other fucking aid, and it's important from a even from an America, as I said, an America First standpoint, because it allows us to influence other countries, which is kind of our power in the first place. Um, so he's going to get rid of it, just like that tiny 1%. Just he's going to have like fucking children and fucking shit dying. Even more so, it's already a fucking major issue. But even more so, to save that 1% so that he can make himself and his rich buddies more wealthy. Notice how there's a trend here. This is over and over. This is his whole thing. He'll either purposefully cause problems in certain like public good areas, or he will lie and claim that they're already doing like crazy shit that they're not doing, or embellish things or like highly exaggerate shit, and then use that as justification to axe it completely. So sometimes he'll make a claim that he's like, okay, this is completely broken over. One of his most popular tactics is like fucking woke shit. Like he'll be like, "Oh, they're pushing this woke agenda on people," and anytime he says that, you should immediately like red flag go on in your brain because it's almost always a smokescreen. It's always like a way to pretend like this is an issue. That's one of his like tried and true tactics. Like he will not deal with the things that are important to people and use like trans shit or whatever as like a smokescreen. It's what he keeps doing. He'll use it to like distract people so that they'll focus on that so that they're not even mentioning the shit that actually matters, like the economy that he's not addressing at all. Um, hasn't even tried, like at all, to deal with it. So there will always be ways that he can use something that is part of his agenda and claim that it's like for the benefit of the economy. For example, his huge push on the energy crisis, for example. Drill, baby, drill. He'll use this and say, well, the reason why we're doing this is so that we can deal with the economy. It'll bring down prices of gas and all that. So I'll say, one, maybe he will bring down the price of gas. And I said that from the get go. He may actually do that. But it's such a tiny thing in the grand scheme. Well, secondly, I need to add, right now the price of gas is fucking not very good at all. He's not doing shit to fucking change it. Not in the short term anyway. So even on the grand scheme of him bringing it down, even that is like obfuscation in a way. It's like he's hiding. He'll use something that like maybe he brings down the price of gas like 50 cents or something. That isn't shit compared to the big economical fucking issue. Like the reason that got him elected in the first place is not the price of gas. The biggest, most important is the price of groceries and the cost of living in general. Gas, like changing gas by like fucking 25 cent, 50 cent isn't going to make a dent in the big picture problem. And he knows that. So it remains to be seen whether he'll even bring down the price of gas, but I'm at least on the fence on it. I'm like, maybe he will. Maybe he can do that. That's great. But it's it's stupid to think that that is going to like relieve people. It won't. And like Caroline Leavitt kept getting questions about like the price of groceries and stuff. And anytime she gets to this, certain things she will address directly, but she's bad for dodging questions while making it sound like she's answering them. Like she's like, well, Trump is doing everything in his power, blah, 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 but there's no specifics. The reason why there's no specifics is because he's not doing anything. He doesn't even care about it. You can see that with like he's focusing on stupid shit like changing the fucking name of the fucking Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Like distraction shit to get people like fired up with fucking like faux patriotism. Like, oh yeah, America. While they fucking ignore the actual problems. So USAID, another example in the litany of fucking examples, and there's going to be more, where he claims that he's getting rid of fraud, corruption, quote, when it's just to get rid of any sort of public good that Americans have with that fucking bullshit justification that it's about fucking getting rid of waste. Again, you are not going to see a dime. You are not going to see shit from it. He's right now getting rid of everything he can to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy. Not for the middle class. Definitely not for the poor. So, yeah, it's just more of the same, unfortunately. It's kind of like a fucking it's at this point like fucking beating a fucking dying horse. It's the same shit, same drum, but it's important to note at the very least. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm at a point now where it's just like the whole fucking country is like gone to shit, and it's getting worse, and the courts can't keep up. They can't even fucking deal with one thing before like 10 more things get added to the list, which is the entire plan. Um yeah, he needs to be removed from office ASAP. I'm not confident that that will happen, but at the moment America is burning. It's on fire, and he's somehow managed to get a small sliver of the population to believe that he's on their side, that he's helping them, that this is all for their benefit. And by the time you realize that I'm actually right here, it'll be too late. Um, yeah. So he's also recently said that America will control Gaza, that we're basically going to own it. So he's called for essentially ethnic cleansing, get all of the Palestinian people out of there. Caroline Leavitt doubled down on the lie that, like, this is all because of them. All of this destruction, the reason why it's uninhabitable, Gaza, is because of October the 7th, which is bullshit. This was going on long before October the 7th, and Israel is essentially a fucking terrorist nation and was engaging in ethnic cleansing long before. If you actually look into anything, and I know this is difficult for many Americans, they don't like to actually fucking do any sort of research. But yeah, more bullshit. And that seems to be a theme moving forward. Just if you don't want to deal with legitimate questions, if any journalist that actually, at least the few that still have a spine, that haven't backed down to fucking Trump's fascist fucking anti free speech or anti fucking freedom of the press shit, the few that have a spine, the tactic is to just fucking lie or misdirect or just don't deal with it at all, divert to something slightly related, pivot. Yeah, going straight to shit, and I don't see any signs of that slowing down or stopping anytime soon. Thank you for your time.